be the ultimate decision.
Even that administrative branch of the government
is checked today by the legislature and the courts as well. The legislature has a power to change the system how the regulation authority makes decisions, how METI should behave. But not only that, the courts in Japan, district courts, higher courts, Supreme Courts, have the power to decide whether one specific reactor can be put back into service. It has been happening. Some courts granted injunction to the reactor. That has been turned over, but still these things are happening. There are still other cases of people asking for cessation of nuclear reactor, more than one place. So the powers are divided in the government. It's good. It's a democratic system. But the problem is that no one knows in this country where exactly we're going to. I told you I'm working in the Atomic Energy Commission. Atomic Energy Commission was established 60 years ago and had a strong power to draw the grand design how Japan should be using nuclear energy, how the budget should be allocated for that purpose. We had power to approve it. That has been changed. We have been downsized and we have been made basically an advisory body. We don't draw a plan. We don't approve budget. We simply make advices to the cabinet how they should think and decide on the nuclear power use or nuclear energy use. So, nevertheless, we intend to come up with some basic thinking about how Japan should be using nuclear energy, not only in power generation but also in other fields, industrial, medical, and other applications. We have a number of serious immediate issues to deal with. How many reactors should be put back into service? There has been great debate. In fact, no one knows. Should a reactor life extension be an exception or routine? There's also great debate about this. The current law says a reactor lifespan should be 40 years, period. It can be extended by 20 years with the permission from the Nuclear Regulation Authority. Initially, I think impression was that that 20-year extension was a great exception. But now some people are arguing, no, that should be a routine, as it's being done in the United States. Should Monju, the fast breeder reactor, be abandoned or continued? There's another big debate on this. Monju was designed and started as a prototype fast breeder reactor to produce a great amount of plutonium so that Japan can attain energy independence. It has had some technical problems and had been suspended from operation for almost 20 years. Now the Regulation Authority asked the Minister of Education, Science and Technology to think about who should be in the best position to run the project, because they have been, the Regulation Authority has been very much frustrated with the inability of the current operator. There's a big debate, and we don't know the outcome. Should new reactors be built or forgone? We have had 54 reactors before Fukushima accident for power generation. If you apply 40-year lifespan, this line is the rate of attrition. The reactors will go out of service one after another as they reach 40-year life limits. That means by around 2049, there will be no Japanese power reactor in service. If you allow 20-year extension, this shows how they can stay in service. But still, that means around 269, there will be no reactor. Japan issued a basic energy plan and energy mix plan for the use of nuclear power generation. Whether Japan can build new reactors or stay away from them will decide whether Japan can produce 20 to 22% of electricity with nuclear energy in 2030, as the government plan projected. There's also another big issue. Where and how to put high-level nuclear wastes in Japan. All these things will be affecting whether Japan can achieve that goal of 22% in 2030. They will also affect the question of plutonium management in Japan, which may have relevance to this question of nuclear security, as people discussed in The Hague, that they should want to see HEU and plutonium to be reduced. For one thing, if you produce plutonium in Japan by separating spent nuclear fuel, unless you use it, it will increase naturally. How do you use it? One way is to use it in a MOX fuel form, mixture of uranium oxide and plutonium oxide, and to use them in light water reactors. We are having nuclear power reactors getting back in service one after another. One of them has a